Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we are going to start with a React project for building our UI for the book API that we have been developing in the past few videos. So the CRUD operations have been completed for them. So now we are going to proceed with building the front end with the React. Okay, so there are various ways in which we can develop the React project. So one of the ways which we are going to adopt is using Vite. Okay, so basically Vite is basically a build tool which is useful to, which is a very great way to develop a pure React project. There are other ways also, like we can use Next.js, a popular React framework, but we'll do that in maybe in future. But for now, we are going to use Vite to get started with our React project. Okay, so before we move on, please subscribe to the channel and please like the video if you are enjoying the content, and leave the comments in below if you have any doubts, any questions about the concept or any topic. Okay, or you want to give some your feedback on any of the things. Okay, so let's start building our React project. So you have to come to vite.dev. Here we have to come to get started. So if you go down here, so you will find this command npm create vite at latest. So just copy this command and open the terminal in the folder. So I have a folder actually here, the React. Okay, so I will open this. Okay, it is opened here, and I will open in terminal. Let me bring the terminal here, and I will just paste the command. Now before you run this, make sure you have the node installed in the system. So if you see something like this, node -p, and if some kind of version comes up, then you are all set to go. You can download the latest LTS version. That would be the most good thing. Currently the LTS version is also 22.14, so you can go with it. So now let's start creating our React project. So let's copy this command and let's press enter. So the first thing it will ask you is for the project name. So I will name this as book API UI. Okay, after this it will ask for a framework, so we have to go with React, and after that it will ask that whether you want to use JavaScript or TypeScript. So I'm going to use TypeScript because it is more standard practice to use TypeScript nowadays with React. JavaScript is good for learning, but it is up to you, your choice. If you want to continue with JavaScript, you can. We will be doing this project in React using TypeScript. Okay, so that is done. So now let's move into our folder. As these three instructions are given, so we have to follow these instructions. And before we do the last two of them, let's open our project in the VS Code. Okay, so code and dot. So our VS Code is opened. Let's close the another instance. Okay, so as you can see, we have our project opened here. Let's open the terminal. So terminal is opened. Let's do npm install. Npm install and enter. So it will, what npm install will do is, in the package.json you can see there are dependencies for React and React DOM, and some are dev dependencies regarding the ESLint and TypeScript related thing. So all these dependencies will get installed. Okay, it will fetch all the dependencies from the remote server. Also, you can see that there are two types of dependencies here. So one is simply known as dependencies, and second is known as dev dependencies. So what the meaning of both is, these dependencies are crucial from the stages of development to the stages of production. Okay, even in production, this dependency is required to run the project, but this dev dependency is only required while we are in the development stage, when we are writing the code. Okay, so that is the main difference between these two things. Okay, so our dependencies have been installed. As you can see, a new folder node modules have been there, so we don't need to touch the folder. This folder has all the dependencies that we require, so let's leave it here and let's close this. Now we are going to install few more dependencies. Okay, so what are those dependencies? Let's understand about them. So first thing is, we will require some kind of UI library to design our project. Okay, so you can use your own designs. I have my own code for the design of various components, so I will be using them directly. The logic part I will explain you step by step, okay, in detail. but the CSS part I will just copy paste what from the templates or from the code that I already have. Okay, so and in this project we are going to use Tailwind CSS for that. So let's go to Tailwind CSS. So this is the Tailwind CSS website. If you say get started, so we need to install this Tailwind CSS. Okay, so here in the installation section you can see it is saying using Vite. Okay, since we are using the React project using Vite, so we have to go with these instructions. So first thing it is saying that this command you have to execute. Okay, so go here and execute this command. We just have to follow all these commands and everything will be configured in our system. Okay, so this is done. Next is in the vite.config.ts file we have to add these two things. Okay, so let's first add this one. So here we will add the import statement just below it, and here what we have to do is we have to do Tailwind CSS and as a function. Okay, this is simply a plugin for Tailwind CSS, and just save it. Okay, so that's done. Now it says we have to import this into our CSS file. It has not specified a particular CSS file because using Vite we can create React project or Next project or various other framework project also. So every framework has its own file. So in our React project, where we have to put is, if you go into src, we have this index.css. Okay, here we have to put it. So but before that, one thing, let's do npm run dev. Okay, why? To check whether the application is running or not. Okay, so let's go here, localhost, and so our application is working fine. So everything, the installation and the setup of our project is completed, and we can see this button is working fine. So this means that the project is working fine. Now we just need to add Tailwind CSS. So let's stop this application for now and let's continue with our installation. So what we have to do is in index.css, Control A, and just import this. Okay, next what you have to do is go to index.html and you have to do this, add this part. Okay, so just add it here, and rather than styles.css we have index.css. Okay, so just save this. Perfect. Now whether our TypeScript or our Tailwind is working or not, so let's verify this. So in app.css also, just remove the CSS part, all the CSS. We want a clean slate first, so remove these imports, remove this statement, and remove all this thing. Okay, just write a simple hello book app. Okay, if we write hello book app, and now if we run this start our application, then you will see that so it is coming. Now let's apply the CSS, Tailwind CSS actually. Now before you apply this Tailwind CSS, install two extensions also. So the first extension is this ES7 React Redux React Native Snippets. Okay, this extension is useful because it will give us the shortcuts to create the functions. Okay, we'll see soon what it helps in. And second one is you should also install this Prettier. It will help in formatting the code. You can install this JavaScript and TypeScript nightly, so it helps in IntelliSense part. This Tailwind CSS IntelliSense, so it helps in writing the Tailwind code. It gives suggestions. Okay, so that would be helpful while writing the Tailwind code. And you can also install this ESLint part. Okay, so these are some of the extension. Also this one also you should install auto close tag and auto rename tag. So these are some of the very important extensions and very helpful one. Okay, and if you want to get this theme, if you like this theme, if you want to use this, then use this chai theme. Okay, this is a wonderful theme by Hitesh Chaudhary. So do use this theme if you really like if you like this colored thing. Okay, I personally use this theme a lot, so I would recommend you to use it. Okay, now let's get back to our main work. So we have to apply the Tailwind CSS. So let's write a class name, and here what we do is we will say text3xl, and if we save it, you see our text has increased in the size. Okay, and okay, so sometimes, like for me, it is now it is not working. Okay, so there is some problem in this Tailwind CSS extension. So what you can do is just uninstall it and restart the extension. Okay, and then install it. So this makes the Tailwind CSS work. the extension starts to work. So if you write now, you can see this comes up, right? So what we will do is we will say text center. So the text comes in this at center of the page. So this means that our extensions are working. The Tailwind is working. The dependency that we have installed, as you can see here in the package.json, the Tailwind CSS dependency we have installed, these two, one for Vite and for Tailwind CSS. So these dependencies are working. Now next part is to configure the routes. Okay, so let's first close the application for now. So we have to go to, let's go to React router. Okay, so here is the React router. So we need to configure our routing inside our application. So let's do this. Now there are various ways to install this. It is a framework mode, data mode, and declarative mode. So we will go with the declarative mode because it uses Vite. First of all, you can do this in a Vite project, and secondly, the way we can do is very easier to do. Okay, so let's install this dependency, because if you go in this data mode, if you see, there are two ways of writing two ways of defining the routes in React. Okay, so first using this kind of syntax, and second is using the declarative syntax. Most of the projects, the new projects that we use, so they use this declarative syntax, but it is up to the personal taste of, it is up to the personal choices. Okay, so in most industry projects, the team lead or the senior software engineers mostly decide which way to go. Okay, but we'll go with the declarative approach. So let's open our terminal and CLS, and we'll install this. Okay, so we have installed the React router into our project. Now how to configure this? So we have to configure the React router within the app.tsx file only. So how the whole project structure works is this main.tsx. This basically is responsible to actually everything starts from this index.html. This is the one HTML file. Okay, now if you see here, you have this div with the id root. Okay, so it searches for an id root component. Okay, basically now where it will inject that element. So it comes from main. Now what does main do is it simply uses a simple JavaScript and says create root document.get element by id root, and it just renders the app component. Okay, and if you go in the app, then we can write our own our own HTML CSS, or basically our own JSX. Okay, so these are some of the basic React concepts that you should know, because this is not a React course. This is about building the project using React. So I expect you have a prerequisite knowledge about the React. Okay, so how do we configure the routing? So let's understand that. Okay, now rather than returning a JSX, what we will, or something like this, what we'll do is we'll return something like, there is something known as router. Okay, so this router is important, and we will use this router to, so this router forms the parent of it. Okay, it's a parent route which provides, basically if you see here, provides location context for rest of the app. Okay, now you have to include the routes within it. So how do you include it? You write a tag routes. So this routes tag define all the routes within it. Now actually the router, it is not actually a router but a browser router actually. Okay, browser router you can write as router. Okay, I'll just remove this. Okay, so this is, so browser router basically is used for a router for use in web browsers, provide the cleanest URLs. So it is a parent route, and then you can define all your routes within this routes tag. So how you will define the routes within your routes tag? So we will say route, and you will self close this tag, and then there is a prop known as path. The value will pass as this, and second is element. So element you have to define, you basically have to pass a component here. So we have not yet defined any our own component, so let's define it. So in src, create a new folder, name as components, and in this new file we'll say home.tsx, and in tsx we'll have to write a function. So we will say rfce. So this is a shortcut, and this shortcut comes from that extension, es7 extension. Okay, that's why I was saying to install that extension. So this is how it is defined. Okay, so this is a home component, and on this slash path we need home component. So we will have a home component here. Perfect. We also need one nav bar. Okay, So let's create a navbar.jsx, again ce. Okay, let's remove this. Now what we have to do is, if you open the application npm run dev, so if you open this, you will see that at the home route, which is at the slash route, home is coming, right? Now what we now require is that this navbar should be common to all the components. Okay, irrespective of which component is there, navbar should be everywhere present, right? So what we have to do is, it cannot be a part of any route, it has to be outside of it. So if you want to keep any component outside of something which has to be present across all the components, then what you have to do is, you have to insert that component here. So write your component here, navbar. Okay, so let's import it. Okay, it's not coming. I hope we have given default navbar. I don't know why the suggestion is not coming, but let's import it manually. Navbar from, okay, we have written JSX by mistake. Okay, that was the mistake actually. Rename to TSX. Okay, now it will come automatically. It was my mistake. Okay, so now this navbar component you have put here. So irrespective of whichever routes you define inside this routes tag, for all the routes, this navbar will always be visible. So if you go back to this, you see here navbar is there. To make sure that all that is fine. So if you create another, say about.tsx, we create another component. Okay, remove this and let's configure a route. So let's copy this, let's say about, and we import the about component here. So if we go on to the about component, so you can see this home changes to about, but navbar still remains. So this means that our navbar component is global. Basically, it remains across all the components. So this is the kind of project setup that we have done. Now what kind of structure we will require? So we will require basically two components, addBook.tsx, and we will require another one as editBook.tsx. Okay, these two are the components that we will be initially working upon. So how do we add the book and how do we edit the book? So where do we display all the things? Like if you go over the backend project in the book controller, so we have this all books, right? So how do we get this information, and how do we get the information of a particular book by their ISBN number? So these two things we will do in the home component. Okay, so in the home component there will be the list of all the books. If you click on a book, their individual details will be there. And in the navbar, okay, in the navbar you will see that if you go here, so in this navbar area, what we will do is we will keep an add book section. Okay, so that when you click over it, you get a form where you can add all the details about the book. Okay, this is how it is going to be. I know it is, if you basically, it is sounding very simple and not going too much. The main purpose behind this is to make you familiar with how we can develop a React frontend for our backend. Okay, the logic part is important. How do we do on frontend? How do we handle frontend? Okay, through various fancy things that we can do in some other kind of project. But here in this series, the objective is not to go too much fancy into it, whether design wise or whether the whole complexity wise, but it is basically to make you understand the logic behind building a full stack project. Once you understand the logic, you can organize your code, you can include various libraries, maybe you can directly use a framework and whatnot. Okay, so we will discuss about them also later, but the main purpose of this project is to keep it simple yet focused upon the core logic of developing a full stack application. Okay, in the next video we will work upon our home component. Okay, and we will see how can we fetch the data. So the first objective is to fetch the data, and we will also design a beautiful navbar for that. Okay, so that's all for this video, and if you are enjoying the content, then please like the video, please give a comment. Let's target at least 20 to 25 comments in the comment section at least. Let's see how many of you comment it. The more you comment, the more you like, it will really be very much useful for me to get more and more motivation to build more such videos. Okay, so do like the video and you share it on various social media platforms, whether it's X, Insta or LinkedIn. Okay, or in your WhatsApp group where among your friends to learn from it. So that's all for this video. Subscribe to the channel and like the content. I'll see you in the next one. Till then, bye bye.